Following the murder of Dr. Rosarium, Lieutenant Lord takes command of the JFS Gun-Dog on the grounds that both the captain and her second-in-command are unfit for duty. As her first act, Captain Lord has Mares Bottomuse and Lieutenant Commander Quinn confined to their quarters on suspicion of treason. Alongside the rest of the crew, the ship's security officer, Lieutenant Craft, accepts acting Captain Lord's new command structure and is assigned to investigate the Gun-Dog for signs of espionage. Jovian Space, Central Hub. The Jovian patrol ship, JFS Gun-Dog. You step out of the elevator and into the central hub, running your hands through your hair as you let out one long exhalation. Despite every encounter you'd had with Vanessa to date, you hadn't expected her to be capable of something like this, let alone the cruelty with which she executed her plan. But here you are, or were rather, standing in the central hub of a ship now under her control. You'd managed to avoid being imprisoned alongside Cassie and the captain by agreeing to side with your new captain, a choice that had left you feeling nauseous. At least you had your freedom, though, to a degree. Looking around the central hub, you cross your arms. You'd been tasked by Captain Lord to continue your patrols around the ship and to look out for any signs of an intruder. There was no chance that's what you'd be doing. The only reason you'd side with Vanessa on the bridge had been in order to avoid getting detained like Cassie and the captain. If you'd been locked up, there'd be no way that you could prove their innocence. As much as it had made your stomach turn, you knew you'd done the right thing. But what were you going to do now? You go over a few ideas in your mind, trying to figure things out. Maybe you could start by... Hey, Craft! Huh? Yeah, you, Lieutenant. Who else? Oh, Ensign Rumney. What's up with you? You're just standing around in the hub, spacing out? You better not need to go to sickbay. Don't forget, we're down one doctor. You rubbed the back of your neck awkwardly as you'd been so ready to start planning how you were going to deal with all of this. You'd completely missed Haru standing nearby. Oh, it's nothing. I guess I'm still a bit out of it from when I was attacked. Is that so? Well, it's time to get it together. You got orders from our new captain, right? Yeah, that's right. She's told me to keep up my patrols. Look for any signs of an intruder. Ugh, guess I'm left on guard duty then. Where's Hansen? Why do you want to know? Because I'm the security officer on the ship. It's useful for my job to know where all the personnel are at any given time. I just... planning something you don't want to get caught doing, huh? No. I was just, Take it easy, Lieutenant. I'm messing with you. You wouldn't be that stupid, right? Trying something on Captain Lord's ship when Hansen and I are on your case. I'm not. Because I'm giving you a heads up, Craft. I know you told Lord that you're on her side. Good call, by the way. But I know how loved up you and Quinn are, so Hansen and I were pretty surprised that you'd ditch her like that. Or are you thinking now's the time you can finally come visit my quarters? Not particularly, no. Hey, office still open? For real though, we're gonna be keeping an eye on you. Lord might be cool with letting you wander around the ship, but me and Hansen, you're gonna need to earn our trust. Which means that if we see you do anything weird, if we think you're becoming a problem, we're not gonna go easy on you. Got it? I understand. Yeah, I understand. Hey, there we go. I knew you weren't just a pretty face. Well, I've got some dangerous prisoners to keep under control. Sounds like you've got a job to do, Lieutenant. Catch you later. With a wink, Haru leaves you in the central hub. As if you didn't have enough to worry about, you now know that the pilots were going to be keeping tabs on you. With another deep sigh, you pinch the bridge of your nose. This wasn't going to be easy. Still, you had no choice. You just need to keep them in mind when it came to whatever plan you were going to make. With more pressure on you to deal with this as quickly as possible, you head up the four-side thoroughfare. You need to come up with a plan in the least suspicious way you can. You decide that a meal in the mess hall is the best cover for an extended period of thinking. Right, now that I'm here. Guess I might want to actually have a meal. What's this game about? We are on a spaceship, in Jovian space, which would be Jupiter. We kind of, our nationality is like from like some colonies on Jupiter's like moons or thereabouts. We were sent to investigate a kind of suspicious happenings in the kind of towards the edge of our space territory. Found a ship that was deactivated. Found an alien spacecraft inside, which is now in our ship's hangar. And then the first mate of this, or not first mate, but one of the inferior officers on this ship decided to, now would be a great time for a mutiny. So that's where we stand now. Okay, well, let's grab something to eat. As you begin to think about the situation on board the ship, you absentmindedly press a button on the food vendor, not caring too much about what will be presented to you. The sound of the vendor slowly assembling your meal from its stock of artificial ingredients fills the room as your mind wanders towards the beginnings of a plan. As it stands, Vanessa has taken command of the ship, justifying her actions using the captain and Cassie's indisposition during the blackout, the murder of the doctor, and her perception of the captain's inaction following the attack by the unknown craft. Of course, having two armed ensigns at her side had done a lot to help convince the rest of the crew to go along with her. Right now, Vanessa's the biggest problem. Even if things can't go back to normal, I can't let her remain in command. The best way to deal with this will be... You're jolted out of your thoughts by a sudden hissing sound. Thankfully, no one else is joining you in the mess hall. Instead, a plate of full of surprisingly convincing synthetic macaroni cheese is ejected from the serving hatch. You pick it up and carry it over to the table, where you place it down and slide into the nearest seat. Skewering a few pieces of the pasta with your fork and scooping up some of the breadcrumbs crust, you pick up where you left off. The best way to deal with this will be... Take out Vanessa, getting the rest of the crew on my side, or handling the ensigns. I think you gotta start by rallying the rest of the troops, I suppose. You pause, thinking about the challenge that lay ahead of you. It was going to be tough, that was for sure. Is this something I'll be able to do alone? No. Even if I deal with Vanessa, Hansen, and Haru, the rest of the crew will still be a problem. What do I do once those three are out of the way? Just let the captain and Cassie walk out of their quarters like nothing's happened? After everything Vanessa said, would anyone still trust them? I need the crew to be behind me on this one. I know Vanessa's wrong. Crossing your arms and leaning back in your chair, you stare mindlessly at the blank wall in front of you, trying your best to marshal your thoughts. Wait. I know Vanessa's wrong. All I need to do is convince everyone else. If I can show them that her reasons for taking control are all made up, then there's no way anyone will follow her orders. Even Hansen and Haru will realize they're the ones who are going to be charged as traitors if they stick by her. They'll ditch her, no doubt about it. Then Vanessa will have nothing. I won't be able to deal with her on my own, but with everyone behind me? You load up another forkful of macaroni and raise it to your mouth. Long, glistening strands of cheese follow your utensil, and with a swift circular motion, you wrap them around the fork. As you take a mouthful, you begin to consider the particulars of your plan. It was easy enough to decide that you were going to get the rest of the crew on your side, but how are you actually going to do that? You pause, trying to decide. You need to convince the rest of the crew that Cassie and the captain were innocent, and for that you need to get the captain and Cassie's explanation, find proof it was them, or vouch for them. And they're right now accused of being traitors, their word isn't going to be worth much. My word isn't necessarily worth more than Vanessa's and the others. So I need proof. I need proof. Can't try to talk my way out of this one. It'll be tough to get the crew to stand up to Vanessa and the ensigns, even if I can prove it wrong. I'll need something concrete that I can use to show that the captain and Cassie are innocent. Otherwise, I'll have no chance of convincing anyone. With evidence like that, the rest of the crew wouldn't know they're complicit in a mutiny if they do nothing. But is there even any evidence like that on the ship? You lay your fork down on the table beside your plate and rest your chin on your upturned palm. Staring at the blank wall ahead, you let your mind wander. What kind of evidence could there be, and would you even realize if you saw it? As a security officer, it was your job to gather information about incidents prior to handling cases, or handing cases over to the internal investigations. But that usually only involved things like witness statements or data logs. The most forensic training you'd been given had been focused on recovering firearms or sealing locations to prevent people from tampering with them. You certainly weren't a detective. Picking up your fork again, you begin to listlessly push the meal around your plate. There's no use getting pessimistic. Either there was evidence or there wasn't, and there was only one way to find out. What if there was something that could prove the two prisoners innocent? Where would it be? Sickbay, the bridge, or engineering? Well, we do have a murder going on in sickbay. So that's, to me, seems like the best place to start. Like, something untoward has definitely occurred there, and we need to figure out who did it. You mull over the accusations that Vanessa had leveled at both Cassie and the captain. That they hadn't been sick or incapacitated, that they'd been purposely absent, that Cassie had killed the doctor. You knew that wasn't the case, though. That it couldn't have been the case. You'd been there when Cassie collapsed and seen the state that Captain Bartimeus was in when the power was out. You'd been the one who'd taken Cassie to the doctor and... The doctor! Your mind jumps back to when you arrived in the sickbay. From the very moment he'd started trying to diagnose and treat Cassie, he'd been entering information on his tablets. He'd done the same thing when treating you as well. On top of that, the murder must have occurred in the sickbay. Dr. Zarium rarely went anywhere else, and considering you'd been patrolling the ship, you'd have spotted someone dragging a body around. Triumphantly, you scoop up a large heap of pasta and take a bite, savoring the crisp layer of breadcrumb and baked cheese that came with it. You quickly wolf down the remainder of the meal and stand placing the plate and utensils into the vendor's return tray. You had a plan now. Look for evidence in the sickbay to prove the captain and Cassie innocent, and then use that information to get the crew to join you in ousting Vanessa. With a brand new sense of determination, you head to leave the mess hall. But just before you leave, you pause. You were confident you could find what you needed in the sickbay, but would it be wise to limit your search just to that room? Shouldn't you investigate the rest of the ship as well? It was worth considering, you reason. With that, you step out into the four-side thoroughfare, your new resolution to get Vanessa out of the captain's seat filling you with confidence. Alright. We got a murder investigation to conduct, y'all. To the hub. It's just like Danganronpa. Anyways, you press the button to call the elevator and wait as you hear the gentle whir of a motor coming to life somewhere. You weren't sure what to expect in the sickbay, but you were confident that if you were going to find evidence to prove Cassie and the captain innocent, it would be down there. Going somewhere, Lieutenant? You turn around to see Haru leaning nonchalant against the wall by the entrance into the four-side thoroughfare. I was just heading down to sickbay to take a look to see if there's something that was missed. Oh yeah, like what? The pilot lazily stands upright and saunters over to you, a quizzical look on their face. Just, you know, if there are any signs or clues about what happened down there. Seemed to me like everything's been figured out. Quinn killed the doctor, attacked you, crew saved your life by hitting the alarm. Then Lord paces together how Quinn and Bartimeus are the ones who've been screwing everything up for the rest of us. Or have you a problem with that? No problem. You lie. Lord, the captain asked me to see if I could find out how they'd done it all. so I thought there might be a clue left in the sickbay since Commander Quinn spent so long down there. Alright, Lieutenant. You keep an eye out for anything suspect. We'll do the same. Don't want to get into any more trouble, do we? You hear the whir of the elevator more clearly now as it draws closer. No, I guess not. That's right. Lucky for you that Hansen and I are keeping a real tight watch on things. Hey, take it easy, Lieutenant. I'm sure you've got nothing to worry about. Thanks, Ensign. Once the doors are open, you step through into the elevator. As you turn back to face the exit, you see Haru still watching you. It doesn't take long for you to reach the sickbay, and as the doors open, you move slowly and quietly into the room, scanning it as soon as your eyes have adjusted to the light. With no sign of the attack or no other immediate threats, you begin to walk through the room, giving everything you pass by a cursory once-over. Everything seems exactly as you remembered it. There's no sign that anyone had even gone to the effort of cleaning up the shattered glass which had covered the floor by the medicine cabinets. It left the sickbay feeling grim and somber, more like a crime scene than a functional room, but you took slight solace in the hope that if the glass had been left alone, so had everything in the room, including any potential evidence. You huff and cross your arms. Where to begin? Okay. Well, let's take a look. Let's start with this whole deal. Let's see. Much like on the O'Brien, the glass fronts of the cabinets that stored the various medicines and treatments had all been smashed with fragments covering the floor. You do your best to avoid disturbing anything, but still manage to crunch a few pieces underfoot as you look at the broken edges of the glass that remains in the cabinet's doors. No blood, no fabric, nothing caught in these shards. You step back to get a better look and hear something crinkle as you step on it. Turning back to see what it was, you kneel down to pick it up. Nutri-Shake mix. You turn the pack in your hands and notice that it's completely empty. Just like what happened on the O'Brien. I know it wasn't Cass who killed the doctor, and since this is the same thing that happened on the O'Brien, does that mean it's the same killer? Could be whoever's piloting that machine. But we've not seen any sign that anyone's been able to leave it. And why would they kill 2 doctors just over nutritional shakes? It doesn't make any sense. What about the beds? Heading over to the emergency beds, you do a quick visual review that doesn't reveal anything unusual. Despite this, you take some extra time to go over them, peering into all the little nooks and crannies where the padded top joins the frame. You pay careful attention, looking for any unusual markings or damage or signs that someone else may have been around them, aside from Cassie and the doctor. Unfortunately, the only thing that you can find that would be considered out of the ordinary is an empty chocolate bar wrapper stuffed under the pillow alongside a few crumbs on the cover. You didn't need to be an expert tracker to know who had been here. Performing one final investigation, you check under the beds and notice a familiar purple wrapper. You got a silent voice. Oh, this must have dropped down when they took her away. Don't worry, Cassie. I'll get this to you soon. The desk. The doctor's desk. There'd be something helpful in there. I guess we'll use the desk. The doctor's desk, it's probably my best bet of finding something useful. Moving around to the side where Dr. Rosarium typically sat, you're relieved to find that the drawers are unlocked. You take a thick pile of files out of the top one and begin flicking through them, looking for anything useful. There's gotta be something here. You think, but there's a huge number of documents within the stack of folders that you've taken, more than you could easily skim through. After a few minutes, you place them down on the table and try the second drawer. This time, a smile crosses your face as you pull out the doctor's datapad. Jackpot! Pulling a sticky note off the screen and placing it back in the drawer, you inspect it, looking for the power button. You inspect it, looking for the power button. You find and flick a switch on the back of the datapad, watching the screen slowly illuminate as the device comes to life. The sound of a drive within it beginning to spin, letting you know it's still functional. Alright, I bet this will have all the information I need. Your elation is immediately wiped away as you're faced with a login prompt. Oh, come on! You place the datapad onto the desk alongside the pile of files, and sit down on the doctor's chair, placing your head in your hands. You had no expectation this endeavor would be easy, but you'd been hoping that at the very least it would have been simple. Unfortunately, that did not look like it would be the case. After taking a few moments to silently fume at the challenges that were being thrown your way, you realize there's nothing you can do but move forward. This can't be it. There's gotta be something I can do. With a long exhalation, you stand up, looking around the sickbay. You'd come this far. You weren't going to give up yet. Okay, let's take a look over here. As you walk over to the entrance to the surgery wing, the first thing you notice is that the typically clear glass panel that lets you look inside still has the frosted effect that's reserved for patient modesty or any procedure requiring discretion. With the rest of the crew accounted for and no one available to do any surgeries, you can only assume that it was left in place because the doctor's body had been stored inside. Can we take a look in there? Like, properly? You stand in front of the closed doorway to the surgery wing and tap on the frosted glass. You know the glass used is the same kind as the window on the bridge and would be pretty much impenetrable to conventional weapons, let alone what you had at your disposal. Looking to the nearby terminal, you take out your card and run through the reader. Access denied, insufficient authority. Tutting at the response, you pocket your card. You know access differs for everyone on the ship based on their rank and station, but as a security officer, you had access to almost the entirety of the Gun-Dog. If you couldn't get into the surgery wing, then it was likely only the captain and the doctor could. But with him dead, they'd either locked the card in with his body, or it had been taken when they left him here. You weren't getting in without one of those cards, and right now it seemed extremely unrealistic that you'd be able to get either. With a sigh, you gently tap the base of the door with the toe of your boot or shoe before turning away. It could be a boot. There's got to be a way around it. It seems like it's possible to circumvent everything on this ship one way or another. I bet the chief would know something about this. Okay, should we try using this? You pick up a few scattered boxes of medication and place them on the counter. You review each one in turn, finding them still completely sealed and with no obvious relationship between them. This one's for blood pressure, these are sleeping pills, some of these are antidepressants. The only factor in common is that it looks like they were all yanked out to get what was behind them, which would be... You peer into the back of the cupboard, where all you can see is an empty cardboard tray with the product name printed on it. NutriShake Max, nutritional alternative, 10x 2 kilograms. If someone wanted shake mix, I'm sure they could have just asked. Oh, LeBron Lover, hey, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the Do Not Feed the Monkeys videos. This one's a little different, but hopefully still enjoyable. Let's see. I think that's all we can really do here, unless we want to use the beds. There's no obvious evidence that anyone else had been on them aside from Cassie. I suppose Hansen must have been resting on one of these beds at some point, but there's no trace he was ever here. Okay, so I think now we should head to... Let's go to the aft thoroughfare. That's the wrong thoroughfare. I want to go to the... quarters, probably quarters 2, to see if perhaps there's a clue to the doctor's password in his quarters. You turn the corner into the corridor that leads to both Cassie and the captain's rooms and are immediately blocked by the two ensigns. Whoa, Lieutenant, slow down. Yeah, sorry, man, but this area is officially off limits, understood? Can't let anyone near these dangerous prisoners, you know? Captain's orders. Ease up, you two. I'm just on my patrol. Oh yeah? Why is that bringing you here? Don't think we've got this under control? I don't. Ease up on Lieutenant Rummy. He has a head injury, remember? It's kinda hard to tell, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt, yeah? Maybe they don't realize how it looks for them to be sniffing around their girlfriend's quarters when she's locked up. Oh, are you here for something else, Lieutenant? I told you, I'm just here on my patrol. Consider this place patrolled, Craft. Alright, got it. Good to see you two working so hard. Hey, it's like you've been told. We're busy keeping an eye on everything. You could probably learn a thing or two from us, Lieutenant. A tense silence passes between you and the ensigns. It was clear that they wouldn't be letting you anywhere near the set of quarters. That didn't mean being here was a waste of time, though. Hansen had been in the sickbay when you were attacked. Maybe he knew something. So you want something, or have we got to remind you that you've got a job to do? Well... about what's going on. Yeah, I actually want to talk to you about everything that's been going on. Oh, you do, huh? Well, go on, Lieutenant, what's on your mind? Don't you think what's happening is weird? That there's something bigger going on? Damn right, it's weird. Never been on a ship where the captain tries to get their whole crew killed before. Total first for me. Me too. That's not what I mean. Don't you think that that none of this makes sense? Why do you think Captain Bartomew's? Who? Captain Bada... Huh? Why do you think Mayor's Bartomew's would do all this? What's in it for her, or Commander Quinn? Hey, who knows what that mess is up to? Maybe she's trying to kill the last two members of Calic Flight. Finally finished the job. Cruz, you can't. Can't what, Lieutenant? Seems to me she's always been on a mission to end herself and take everyone else with her. Maybe she's just sick of dying slowly and wanted to finish us all off. Cruz, that's... You want to tell me I'm wrong? Forget it. But don't you think that thing in our hangar is pretty weird? Couldn't this all be to do with that craft? Hey, I figure we're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lucky for you, the JCF's greatest pilot is on board. If that thing tries to pull any more crap, I'll slice it to pieces before it can get out of the hangar. Huh. Hey, relax, Craft. We've got you covered. Just leave it to us. Is that what you wanted, or you want to ask something else? Well... About you two. How did Nessa get you two on her sword and all this? Pretty personal question you're asking there, Lieutenant. Trying to get at something? No, I was just thinking that it's not exactly like you guys got along with her before. Not exactly like she got along with anybody before. She must have offered you guys something pretty good. Damn straight she did. Lay off this piece of crap to somewhere our talents can be appreciated. We make sure the return journey to Europa Colony goes smoothly and the traders don't make any more trouble. And we're back. And then when we're back, Lord explains how we helped with a major security incident. We both get big promotions and boom, we're stationed on a cushy carrier somewhere with a squadron each. Beats running here for the rest of the time. How'd you end up on the Gun-Dog anyway? Same way you did, we screwed something up. I didn't... No way you'd be here if you didn't, Lieutenant. I didn't screw anything up. Whoa, take it easy, Lieutenant. No shame here, circle of trust. Circle of trust? You gotta tell them about how you wound up here? Hey, like I care, dude. I was just too badass. Get real. Hey, you know I'm telling the truth. They had me testing prototype armored frames for a while, right? Putting them through their paces, pushing them to their limits. Turns out I pushed them too hard, the machines couldn't keep up, so they got rid of me. More tab that I kept hitting the limits of their precious series or whatever. Yeah, now tell them what happens when an AF can't keep up with you. Yeah, whatever. Reactor went critical on one when I redlined the thrusters and didn't let up. I had to punch out and the whole thing turned itself into space dust. Another shook itself to pieces when I did that again. Ended up sending debris flying into the sports ships. Yeah, it took out the bridge on one. They got rid of me after the weapons test went bad. I tried to beat the speed record on the target shoot. The cannon ended up overheating, magazine blew, shredding the testing platform, and half a nearby observation ship. Gotta give it to the armor on those things. Nothing left but the cockpit and the left arm, but I made it out. That's why I'm here. Since we're sharing crews, you gonna tell the lieutenant why you're here? 'Cause I got saddled with some real loser as a squad commander. Officers from the academy, no real experience, just books and simulations. Kept trying to tell us the wrong way to fight. Told that pencil neck that I'd kill more AFs than he'd ever seen, that none of the maneuvers he was pushing would work in real combat. He didn't like it even less when I tore his frame's head off in a mock battle to prove a point. That's the JCF for you. Don't want talent outshining the ones who paid their way to the top. So how did you, Lieutenant, since we're getting all touchy-feely with the heart-to-heart, you gotta tell us what you did? Look, I'm serious, I don't know why I was transferred here. It must have been a staffing thing. For real, Lieutenant? You gotta get over yourself, man. You don't want to share? Whatever. Fine, we'll change the subject. What else you after? Well, about Captain Lord. Are you guys really happy with Lord running this ship? What do you think's gonna happen when we get back to your upper colony? You got a problem with the captain, Lieutenant? Something you want to tell us? No, I mean, I'm on your side, right? You better be. I just think... Do you reckon when we get back to the colony that the higher-ups are going to go with what she's saying happens? What if they find something that shows she's wrong about all this? You know something we don't? Nothing like that, but what if someone found something out that showed Vanessa was wrong? Hey, at this point, if something like that came up, it'd get us all in hot water. It'd be easier on us if that kind of thing just disappeared, you get me? Right, yeah. But no one's gonna find anything like that because Lord's got it all figured out. Lane's motivation, all stuff. When we get back to Europa, they're gonna be calling us heroes for catching a traitor and capturing an enemy machine. We'll finally get promoted to squad leaders on a carrier or something. I see. Hey, I know you're probably sour because it turned out that your girlfriend's been sweet-talking military secrets out of you this entire time. I get it, we've all seen how she fills out those skirts, no one would blame you. And Lord might need an attitude transplant, but what she's figured out about Quinn and the captain, it all stacks up. Trust us, you may have needed some persuading, but you've made the right decision. So is that what you wanted, or you want to ask anything else? Well... After a while, the conversation begins to flow freely between you and the ensigns. You never expected to be in this kind of situation, especially not with Hansen, but despite your lingering distrust of the two of them, you find yourself having something that could be seen as a good time. There hadn't been any expectation that you could get any really useful information out of them, but with how things were going, you were starting to change your mind. It was still a bit risky, though. You knew they still harbored suspicions about you, and if you pushed them too far, you might lose any goodwill you'd built up. I might be able to find something important, though. Should I risk it? I could ask about the attack. It's only natural. That's what happened to me. So, Hansen. Hey, what's up? When I was attacked in the sickbay. What are you asking about this for, Kraft? Just as part of my security investigation. Captain's orders, you know. Yeah, go on. I just wondered, did you manage to get a look at who it was that attacked me? Come on, Lieutenant, don't be tense. The privacy effect was on, so the glass was all frosted. Everything was blurry, all I could make out was you getting put on your ass. Did you see any details at all? Anything that could help us identify the killer? What, do you think the captain's wrong about it being Quinn? No, but presuming it is Quinn, right? We're gonna want as much hard evidence as we can acquire to, present to Europa Colony. We're gonna have a chat with her about this? I'm just trying to be thorough. You probably briefly considering a different approach. How are you sure it was Quinn? I mean, I didn't get a good look at them, but they were definitely Quinn's height, shorter than you. Well, that's kind of messed up the colors on her uniform, though. Made it just look all black, but it was the same build. It had to be her. Besides, she was the only one in there when everyone got down to the sick bay. But you couldn't see that well, right? So it could have been someone else. Someone could have left. Calling me a liar, Lieutenant? No, nothing like that. I just want to be totally sure about what happened, so... What happened, Kraft, is that I saved your damn life. If I hadn't hit that alarm, then your psycho girlfriend probably would have finished you off, just like the duck. So instead of giving me the 3rd degree, maybe you should actually thank me instead, huh? Hey, I'm sorry. I just wanted to... Asking a lot of questions for someone who said they were with the captain on her side of things. You got something you want to tell us, Lieutenant? Okay, just forget I asked. But be careful, Kraft. I was kind of thinking you were okay, but you're making me wonder. And what we told you earlier. Alright, yeah. You know what? Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. With the tension suddenly higher than you'd like, you turn away to leave. Things hadn't gone well, but you knew that Hansen hadn't actually seen Cassie attack you. Just someone her height and build. On top of that, he mentioned the color of her uniform. Hopefully this would be worth upsetting the 2 ensigns. Okay, what about the other quarters? Unfortunately, I don't think... Yeah. Okay, in that case...